That'd be you. I thought Zach was head honcho.
No, hell no.
That's what he made it sound like.
I don't think either of us really want to be the head honcho first and foremost. But I
don't have a problem with you being in it, man. I trust you. You're a smart guy. I know you. You're good. You're a good person.
I'm also a very busy guy.
Yeah, that's what.
that's the biggest issue with me.
And you live what, 150 miles away?
110. So, from last time we met, we discussed and threw some things around. I do want to make sure that everybody is on the same page on one thing. There was a word that was tossed out there, and that word was tax. that could be a nail in the coffin, and I don't think that's the direction we need to go. But we do need participation. So those of you in Candy Lane, Leaning Tree, we need you to talk to your neighbors. We need to get everybody's buy-in so that we can actually do road maintenance. Last time we met, I said, we can't fix everything all at once. It would be done in phases, addressing the bigger issues first and then tackling the smaller issues. But it does take money to do that. So, a number, because Zach had done some research, but we started off with $50 a month, which we know can be challenging for some people. And that's to start off with. Once we get the roads to a manageable, maintainable condition, that number could be dropped significantly. So even with the current number of property owners that we have at $30 a month to start, that will help us gain capital, buy equipment, things of that nature. That's a little bit more manageable, and that still gives us $28,800 a year to actually do road maintenance. That's kind of what we're going for, just to start with. And again, once things are in a maintainable condition, that number could drop significantly. We don't know what that is just yet, but
yeah, I'll almost take care of the rock.
Well, we could purchase rock, we could purchase AB3, we can crown the roads, we can do all this fun stuff, but it takes money to do that.
The other thing is so I was talking with Todd, who's not here. Unfortunately, he had a family emergency, but talked to Todd about building a screen deck, because you guys that come up here, you all saw the creek. We've had to repair the creek again. We have about 12 man hours in equipment by Jay and Todd and Tony that we put in. Me and Tony and Don, I believe, also helped with it. We put into it this last week. But I talked to them about building a screen deck. We have Robert permission, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
On the bottom side to go in and pull some of the rock out of there and screen it. I have the welder at the house. We can make a screen deck and then screen our own large rock down to small rock if we need to. So that will cut down costs too. We're trying to cut costs where we can, but keep the reasonable things in place. There's been several ideas of what type of bridge we can put in place to fix our road down there. I've also got a lead on the 48-inch pipe, a 30-foot stick of 48-inch pipe. I would take the 2 out and put that 1 in if we do that. I apologize, I didn't get around to Candy Lane, up to Leaning Tree, Ed's Turn, Allison. I didn't get to them to look at them before today's meeting, but I know that there is issues going to them. I know that there's issues with what we currently have. Ed's Turn, currently at this point, is pretty much impassable. Tony, you don't need a concussion. But there is.
Done it better myself.
But the plus side to that is, and we believe we know who it is somebody is bringing large rock in and putting it from the top of Ed's Turn to where they're logging out of. So once we figure out for sure who that is and get them to, obviously it's a property owner, get them to come to these meetings, that way we can figure out that might help us tremendously as well. On the engineering side of it, there's been a lot of behind the scenes work done. Tony's done a lot of work fixing the second bridge as well as the first bridge down there at the bottom. He's also put in replaced the culvert at Ed's turn. He's graded for us. He's busted his butt a lot. I broke one of the skid steers. That was a statement that we knew last month. We have equipment, yes, but some of it's not
New.
the world's
It's not new.
greatest. Yeah, new. Whatever you want to say. So it is, at this point, we're kind of broke down. You see Todd's skid steer is still waiting on its starter.
Now, starter's in. We got to do some carburetor work.
We got carb work on it now. And then yours is broke down on a cylinder.
Mine is missing the tilt cylinder right now, so it's in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to come back down here and get that put back in 2 weeks.
So we'll be down a skid steer for that long.
And then I've got to fix my backhoe.
And then the backhoe. So we do have equipment and a dump truck.
But it's personally owned equipment. The problem with that is, how do we, if we were to form an HOA or a POA as a not-for-profit
Or road
organization,
district.
or road district, whatever you call it, it's going to be a not-for-profit organization through the state of Missouri. But how do we discern what that equipment is used for on the roads versus personal use and fuel and things like that? So that was a question that was brought up last night. The answer to that is hour meters and topping off the fuel before you start working on something, and then top it off when you're done, so we know what was actually done.
Yeah.
That's just one easy way to do that. But ultimately, yeah, we do need a grader. That would be one of the first purchases. An excavator would be nice.
Yeah. There is a new place. Those that know Versailles pretty well. What used to be Rock Island Recycling, they are now a rental place, and they rent. Don't quote me. I don't have the book in front of me that has all the details. It has, I believe, it's a 15K Mini X. It's not really mini.
And you
Yeah,
can
that's
rent
medium
it.
size.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. You can rent it for a day at $375 with a $125 delivery charge,
Or it's
or you can rent it for like a week for $1,175 with a $125 charge.
The reason that we would need an excavator in general is just really to maintain ditches, culverts, creek crossings, things of that nature. Obviously, those of us on this side of the hill are completely dependent on the creek crossings, whereas Leaning Tree's not necessarily dependent on it.
But the plus side to having it, especially for you up on Leaning Tree, is we can properly ditch stuff where water's not going out into your pasture, you know? Or
I don't mind the water. It's just the place that they put it.
Well,
Yeah.
we
And
we
the
can
goal
put it
is
the
just
right
to
way.
control the water and put it in the places where it's not going to damage the road.
And then for you guys over on Leaning Tree, just be
Yeah, I've been working on it with my dingo. It's slow, but I've been working on rerouting and ditching and stuff.
I know that the neighbors down the hill also picked up a skid steer. I don't know how much they're going to help us at the moment. I know he's trying to focus on fixing what the flooding has done to his property.
Down on Lauren Lane.
Yeah, down on Lauren. So it's going to be a little bit, it's a slow going process. I also have a lead on another dump truck, another like 10-ton dump truck that I've got a call about. So there's, again, I apologize. I didn't do a lot of legwork on engineering for this today, but I have been doing a lot of behind the scenes work on trying to get us, hey, this is where we can go for this piece of equipment, or this is the direction we're going in for screen decks.
I was gonna say,
I'm waiting
you've
on
got-
Fishers to call us back about their screen decks.
Calls into Fishers and Capital.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I've got irons in every fire, just not the right fire apparently, because they're all slow burning.
Right.
So I apologize about that, but I do appreciate, like I said, Tony putting in as much time as what he has to help us.
I've been assaulted.
Yeah.
So is the ultimate goal to have it a POA, or is it to have the county take over?
So
The
Right.
best case scenario is to have the county take over.
Yes.
But in the interim, there are things that need to be done. Each of us that travel these roads are damaging our vehicles daily.
Like you said, you don't even go gravel anymore. You go to blacktop, and that's
No, I know, and I have a mini Bobcat, excavator, but it's in the shop right now getting motor rebuilt. So
yeah. We've all got significant irons in the fire for the equipment portion of it, but the end goal is yes. The ultimate goal is yes for the county to take us over. It's an election year, and as I got told, I'll tell you again. They are
Keep
not
in mind
accepting.
that the county takes over, our taxes will go up.
yeah, I mean they'll go up a little bit. But
Paying the same
I think
tax.
they'll
We're
go up
only-
a lot.
we're
Road
only
taxes.
2% less than the city. We're only 2% less than the city.
And realistically, at this
Truth be
point,
told, we're still paying the same taxes every other Morgan County resident.
Right.
yeah.
So they shouldn't go up at all.
Their big problem with it is right now is, like I was told today, is there's no money in it for them to take us over, so they don't see us as a profit to the county. Cool, that's not a problem. There's 20 of us here, but if there's 80 of us here that go, hey, we want this done, yeah, we understand it's going to cost an extra $300 to our property value. That's a rough number, guys. I'm sorry I'm pulling that out of my ass. But, we understand our taxes are going to go up. Can you please help us out? They tell us no at that point. I think, don't quote me, I think at that point we need to go get an attorney and say, hey, we've asked, we're demanding now. It's one of those, and it's an election year. Knock on wood. Well, I know he's not running again. Our Western District Commissioner said today he's not running again. So it will be a new Western District Commissioner, which is the district we are in. So, get out and vote for one of those guys. I don't care who. I know that Kevin has several years' experience, and I've talked to him about potentially taking us over, and he said he won't discuss it until if he wins. So there's that.
Yeah. So that's the ultimate goal, is to actually have the county take care of it, because then we're not having to put
Take
any
care of
extra
it.
money out of our pockets. But in the meantime, there are things that can be done. And when I say we purchase equipment as a POA, HOA, whatever you want to call it, special road district, that equipment would be stored in a place that would be available for whoever's assigned or volunteered to run it that weekend or day or whatever. There are benefits to having it.
There are negatives.
There are negatives on the county side, but not that many, I don't believe.
So the big thing, and this come off of Alice, I know we all know where it came from, was last month. They're seeing it because the term POA is still getting thrown around, which is we're trying to form a group that will help sustain our roads, whether it's special road, POA, whatever the hell you want to name it. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, how do you even find out who these properties belong to along these roads?
So the Morgan County GIS maps are actually pretty up to date. You can get on their website, just look up in each individual property, and they'll have
Has
a
anybody
name and an
tried
address
calling the
of the
people
property
that,
owners.
that we don't really see?
So we have tried. We have told personnel. I mean, you were with us last month when we told JJ. I've told James right across the street from me. That's also on them if they want to show up. It's tooth and nail right now.
What I was wondering is, some people are working, some people doing other stuff, but if we could find out whose places or where, might be able to at least get in touch with them to say,
Yeah,
are you interested
again,
in
we
keeping
can
these
do
roads
that,
open?
but it's just a name and an address. So we'd have to send out a letter,
And if
and then
the other problem is
it costs money to do that still, and we don't have any.
I mean, another big issue is like, so the guy across the street from me, bought 10 acres. Got a steal, wasn't even listed on the market because I would have bought it. He bought it for $8,000.
Holy cow!
A year later, he's got it on the market for like $38,000. Like, they're not gonna help. Those people will not help. You know what I'm
No.
saying? And there's a bunch of properties like that. I know 2 other properties on Lean Tree that are owned by somebody that's out of state. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with anything. They just bought it. They either got it at the tax sale or
they bought it cheap, they bought it dirt cheap. Yeah, and that happens. But like I said, if we can get a majority, try to get the majority here
Well,
to do that.
that's what I was saying, how would you even know, you know, who to call, who to get in touch with, any kind of way? You know,
Right
you
now
just have to get a
it's-
map, huh?
Right now, it's word of mouth.
Just go door to door.
But
Well,
that doesn't seem to be working.
that's
out.
what. So unfortunately, that's what we're trying to get people from different areas to come up and be like, hey.
That way you don't have a complete stranger
So you don't
just
get
knocking
shot.
on some.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I'm all for not getting shot.
Again,
I'll tell
Again.
you, that crazy neighbor of mine next to David, old Bill something, he shot it, what's, Bill Wolf's guys and all kinds of stuff, like, he don't
Well,
care.
again, that's why we have these meetings, trying to get everybody from at least one area, and that way you're less likely to get shot on Leaning Tree than we are.
yeah, second.
You know what? That's the point.
Same with
I
you.
talked to everybody on our road
I'm not
today
going.
and invited them to it, and they all said we're not coming. So
And the other thing is it got tossed around about, as you see Jay and I are up here talking, it got tossed around as a board. One of the complaints we had, and it was the same day as our meeting last time, was we're not having a POA, you can't do this. Okay, cool. What we're saying is, hey, you're the only one that keeps showing up for Leaning Tree. Do you mind being a sitting board member to represent Leaning Tree? Maybe your guys don't want to come to these meetings, but you can go out and talk to them afterwards.
And then bring their
And then bring-
opinions and
yeah.
ideas up.
Same with you as Candy
That's a
Lane,
good
you know,
idea.
having sitting. and
Somebody
that's-
representing each road.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
that was what we were trying to do, is have somebody represent, you know, each little, because we're our own subdivisions. Let's not lie about it. You know, I know you and Mike up there. You guys are at the top of the hill, so yes, there's a lot that gets done back here you guys don't even know about, or
And me.
that's what I'm saying. You and
Well, I thought
Mike.
you were talking to him.
No, he's on Candy Lane.
I was really paying attention.
You're deeply involved in. Alex, your mom's off the deep rail over here.
My foot hurts.
But and you guys are at the corner, so we know where to find you guys. Will, we know where to find you, or at
I'm
least you know where to
hiding.
find us.
I'm getting ready to dig a hole out in the back. Down inside that gully wash down there, yeah, I'm gonna dig
You know
out
where
on
he's
the
at.
side of that hill, dig me a nice little hole in
Don't,
there.
because it floods down there.
Someone
It don't
might
flood
say,
that bad.
We'll just come get you for the next meeting. We'll just
Yeah,
drag you
we'll
out.
just go, yeah. But and then we have
Then I'm gonna cover it back
we
up
have
with
all
dirt.
the assholes back at the acres. I mean, we know where they're at. Like, we're all our own subdivision, so if we can have that one person, so to speak, that's what we want. I mean, the guy from Allison that ran off on the rant, I wish he was here. That way he knew what we were going on.
Oh, during that March meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish the guy was here. That way he knew what was going on. It's not, we want to be in here, and like it was said, we don't give a shit what you do on your property. Go over there and have fun with your goats. I don't care. I don't want to know.
have goats, have
You know?
horses, have a dang dirt track.
I don't
Don't
care.
No
what I
fair.
care about.
I don't
Yeah,
have
the
any
rules were
goats.
ignorant, like
Yeah.
you could not have a pig.
And every
Yeah,
What
there
in
you
the
go.
world is
Tucky.
that?
Well, I bought back in '98, and that was not part of the deed covenants when we bought.
That's because he switched it by himself.
But yeah,
Well, every covenant's
Well,
different too.
and here's the other thing: is
Like our
not
neighbors.
everybody has covenants with their deals, and not all the covenants are the same covenant.
Like
So-
our neighbors across the street from us, they can have pigs. They can't have cattle.
But we can have cattle across the street from them, but we can't have pigs.
The ones that are the adjoining property right down on Lauren Lane, they can have cattle and pigs. Can't have horses. So it's
Listen, I got every animal there is to have. So.
well, the fact of the matter is,
including children.
we do have
I ain't got
a
nothing to do with that
lawyer
old
on
stupid cousin.
tape saying that he's no longer making any assessments. Now, I don't know what that means for the people that are still under contract, but
They
Those-
refunded our assessments or our road maintenance.
those of us that have our properties paid off that never once had a deed covenant tied to our titles, we're not bound by them. And I would venture to say that if you did a quick title search down at Morgan County Courthouse, I think it costs $2. You're going to find that most of you don't have a covenant tied to your title, which is great. Chevron's no longer making assessments, which means they're really not doing anything as far as the deed covenant. So whatever those said, like I said last time, they're pretty much out the window. I like you said, I could care less what you all do on your properties. It's none of my business. I just want to help fix your roads. That's it.
The other factor I'm trying to work out is, I don't know how many of you guys know that Gravois has a special road district. I'm also trying to reach out to them because this is technically,
First sales.
it depends. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
So there are some speculation.
It's Gravois
that
Fire District,
It's
but
Gravois.
for sales Mellier.
And Stover School District.
Yeah.
So,
The guy that came by
Which is
yesterday.
ignorant.
I'm Stover
Yeah.
address.
Stover.
Huh?
I'm Stover address.
yeah. Oh, you're a Stover address.
Yeah, like,
You lucky duck.
Yeah,
You go
Leaning,
right past,
Leaning Tree is the line, like Stover Verhales
Okay,
line,
good to know.
That's, yeah,
like right between us.
Man, we're working with 3 cities here.
you are.
Uh,
You are. And none of
Three opportunities
the
to
none of
reach
the
out.
cities want to touch them because it's more headache. And like I said, the thing that keeps getting thrown at me is there's no money in it. Well, how do you know that there's no money in it? I understand when you look at a tax bill, they get half a cent or a 0.5% off of whatever we sell. I got that.
How
Completely
about you help some
understand.
people better their lives?
Exactly.
Well, that's
Well, I mean,
what
We're not.
it to be.
It's not like we're asking for
road
this stuff.
maintenance is not supposed to be a profit anyways.
Exactly. So,
It's
what,
not like we're
what
asking
has
for this.
happened though is we've had ambulances get stuck where they couldn't get to an area, and we've actually had people die because of that.
Dollar died up here. Peanuts died up here.
Our niece.
Our niece has died up here.
Robert.
The gentleman on Allison is died. That's 4 that I know of for
Who's
sure.
the
Robert.
guy that lived kitty corner from Dollar?
Peanut.
No,
Robert.
down the hill.
Oh, yeah. He died up here.
That was Rick.
Rick died up here too.
I knew it started with an R.
Right,
Mhm.
I couldn't remember.
Because ambulances have gotten
He
stuck.
couldn't get because
they
of the
haven't
creek.
been able to come.
They went up the other Ozark Heights, which is now when we first moved down here was passable. It's now impassable because no road maintenance has been done on it in the last 10 years. So there are things.
It's passable. We drove through it last year. We got really drunk.
That's why it was
My road is
passable.
passable too. Just depends on how fast you go.
Right.
Chrissy's Jeep got stuck in it, but
It's bad.
Oh, a year ago, your road was impassable.
Chrissy got stuck in it.
In the Jeep.
But that's what. Again, that wasn't a cheap fix. Everybody in this room has heard, well, except for you two, have heard how much money I dumped into that road.
No, I didn't hear how much money.
$6,000.
6 grand
And
last
not
year
a
alone.
dollar of it was given to me in credit by Chevron, nothing. And they were maintaining the roads. Not a dime. Did it hurt? Yes. That's what deployment money's good for. Fixing things. But that's why
The
that's
point,
why I'm trying
the point
to
is, right now, if we can get the county to help us out, that's going to be the best case scenario again. But we really need to spread the word and get some sort of funding together because lives
how
could
would-
literally
how would you
depend
do
on it.
that?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
how we,
I mean, I can see crowdsourcing road maintenance. I understand that, you know, everybody needs to put something in it, but how would you do it? I mean, would you put it in a bank account and
so
we absolutely would. We would have to form a legal entity that's not for profit.
So that's where we
and
would
then-
have to, we would, those of us that show up, and I say this hoping we get more people to show up, we would have to vote on, you'd have to have 4 sitting members, you would have to vote a board in, whether it's a road district or POA, you'd have to vote,
Call
establish
it
that.
whatever you wanted.
Road
does
maintenance.
all this stuff have to be notarized?
Yes,
Yes.
Everybody's signature has to be notarized.
yes,
Well, it can be on a single sheet. And we can have a notary
Notary.
come here and stamp
Everybody's here has to sign in front of the notary though, right?
Yes.
In order to stamp it. Well, see, how would
So-
you ever get it,
Yeah,
everybody's here
Right
in
here.
the same place at the same
the
time?
notary's
Hi.
right here, that's what I'm
I'm-
saying,
I'm a licensed public notary
Oh,
through the state of
okay.
Missouri.
That's-
Okay,
that's why I've been pointing,
well, that's what I'm
And
saying, you know, like,
you,
But
Maybe
there
you
could
take
be
a
a conflict
petition.
of interest there. So
As long as he doesn't sign.
if you took a petition
I was
for
going
each
to say,
one
I
of
also
these people that
know a
own
notary
land,
that could come down
like
here.
you
And,
say,
Yeah.
okay, this is
And
what
that's
we're
the other
doing,
thing, is if you guys don't want me to
And
sign, that way
it
there's
can
no
be
conflict of interest,
notarized
you can bring
on their
somebody else
plates
in.
in their time.
As
you
long
know,
as
if
he
it-
doesn't
if it
sign
had
or
some way to-
anybody from my
But you can't
property
get
at
them all in one spot.
7798, I can be the
so
notary.
here's the other thing is, if we do that, like we were saying, the board,
Mm.
you'd have to have a minimum, like I was saying, you have to have a minimum of 4 members, because you have to have a president, vice president,
Treasurer.
you have to have a treasurer, and you have to have a scribe. Somebody, you have to have somebody, a secretary, whatever you want to call it, scribe, whatever, same thing. But on top of that, like I said before, we build this, I'd like to have representatives from every road,
Right.
or every little subdivision. So you're looking at least 8 members. If I did my math right, because Lauren, Alice,
There's 8 roads at least.
yeah. So you're looking at least 8 members,
12
something like that.
that.
And we can do that. The other thing is when we do that, I can go, hey, I don't remember your name. I apologize, but
Brian.
Joe. Hey, Joe.
Okay.
We got the petition for the county. We'd like you to walk with us. That way we don't get shot going door to door and explaining what the heck we're trying to do. Okay, cool. Now we're moving to Candy Lane. Now we're moving to Alice. That way we have the representative with us. We're showing, we're trying to tell. Plus, we're getting the word out more about the meetings.
And
It's
they're
like a
seeing a face that they can.
If you had,
Yeah.
if you had like some sort of a presentation, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
About what's going on and what put
Well,
together
that's
where
that's
somebody
something that we
So I
will have to actually put together. You know, how things will be organized, what the goals are.
So I planned on putting in an agenda for what I wanted to talk about today, but my computer's crapped out, and I
That
apologize. I have about 30 things I'm doing, plus trying to take care of my military kids, and it's like, you know what? Unfortunately, this is the lowest thing on my totem that I can make sacrifice. So I didn't get the agenda. I apologize. Will that continue to go on? No. And if it does, then I will turn it over to somebody else that I know.
You know, you can always ask for help.
Yeah.
I mean,
Help!
right now, I am not working.
I've been asking for help on the road. They don't listen.
Yeah, no. I can't
some
get
help
down
on the
there
road.
and
Not
do
yelling
anything
loud
with the
enough.
road.
I need some fence post drove.
We're in the
Yeah, I
wrong
need all
place.
kinds of help. I need
You got
some
a bucket
electrical
on
work done.
Yeah, it's a good shop.
Hey, Redhead. Red.
But just
She
that
needs
outline
electrical work
stuff
done.
Help me to understand what's
Uh,
going
Touch them
on,
together
you
and
know?
see if it starts.
Having
You know what does electrical, right?
Now, how would I know that?
Okay, well now you know.
I don't
Legal,
He also
I have
does
no
plumbing.
clue about
Well, I was
everything
gonna
but
Google
how-
it and figure it out myself.
I don't think
Red
any
and
of
black
us
or red and white
really
at the
do.
same time.
It's a learning process.
Me and YouTube University, you know, I'll get my degree.
Oh, that's how everybody gets it nowadays.
Right?
They have to.
Do we know
It's the only
what
one I can
our numbers
afford.
are? Like how many people we're actually looking at, and how many miles
We-
of road, and all this stuff?
Counting the map that I took a picture of that from the meeting we had back in March at Lori City Hall, there's roughly 150 properties. Now, I don't know how many of those are actually owned by the same people or whatever, but you had a guesstimate of around 80 people.
Around 80, we
Yeah.
figured about 80 people, about half of it is owned by actual single individuals, you know what I mean?
Right.
Versus,
not big companies.
versus like Big Country that owns 30 properties, you know? Or like his neighbor owns 10 acres, yeah, there may be one property or maybe 3 properties.
Right. Yeah, because like I own 2, and my neighbor owns 3, and so
And
yeah, there's.
So that was the
a
other
lot.
thing we discussed. Like, if we if we agree to do this, and we do go say, hey, it's gonna be, it's gonna be $30 a month. Okay, cool. If you own, well, how many acres did we say? Or more than 10 properties, something like that.
I think we started at 5 and then kind of went up from there.
If
But
you own more than 5, then you paid double, and if you own more than 10, then you paid something else.
yeah.
That's how we were doing it, because that was something that was asked last month is, okay, so if I own 1 property and you own 10, are we paying the same price for road maintenance? Well, realistically, no, because it's not fair. But we also did say, because voting members, that was the next question, well, say they own 30 properties, do they get 30 votes versus
No.
1? That was the other thing, no. Now, we will assess it and break it down where, yeah, you own 15 different properties. If you want the extra votes, then you need to donate to the road maintenance, to the fund.
Yeah,
Now-
you're paying per property.
You're paying per property, per piece. And it's not going to be a cheap one. It's going to be
Yeah,
probably
it
like
would be a
Do
deterrent.
you
for
use
sure.
this road maintenance stuff for other things?
Huh?
Do you use this road maintenance equipment for other stuff?
No. It's
So
not
at this current moment, because the equipment is individually owned,
Right.
like Jay's skid steer,
Right.
because it is his currently. Yes, it is being used for whatever he needs it to,
Oh, right.
because it's his,
Right.
it is his
It's
that
his.
he's loaning out to us.
Yeah, just like the tractor and my backhoe as well.
Now, if we go and say we get the $30,000 and we go and buy a road grader, are we going to use that for personal use?
Absolutely.
No, it's going to be used for.
Like I said earlier, it would be stored in a location where whoever volunteered to run it that day would have access to it, and then access to the fuel drum, which everybody would have a
Yeah.
key to
You know, it really needs something. I'm first, you know, I don't come down this way very often, but
Well,
5 miles an hour, you know.
So we have a neighbor that nobody really sees, and he's on the other side of the hill. If you go back here and take those archives down, they don't like coming. They've been invited. My understanding is they don't like coming up here. The wife works, and she'd like to make it, but we don't have the meetings and enough time for her to come up here to them. And then the road is actually real crap.
Oh,
You'll see every now and then at the top of Ozark Heights and Webb, you'll see them park. She'll park her car. That's because her car's not able to come down in here. And that is something that we talked about. Tony and I talked about. If your skid steer hadn't broke down, that was the next place we're headed to. They have literally, we're complaining about our pipes. They literally have a single 12-inch pipe that is 25 foot long, I think.
Yeah, so that's my valley as well for the property I own. And then
So there,
I've seen 7 feet of water going across that entire wide valley. That is, they need.
So the goal, the plan is in the future, whether we go to a hard bridge structure like we talked about, or we do the 48-inch pipe, or whatever we do down here, is I want to try to reclaim those pipes, take them down here because they are bigger, and go from 1 to 2 on these guys for these guys down here. You know, I think at this point they feel that they're left in the dark because they don't. There's nobody down there to interact with them as much as what we are. Nobody's really going back there to road maintenance, and he as well has paid for individual loads of gravel that Chevron, when they came in, they scattered and destroyed what they had up there. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. We have access to rock.
We have access to hundreds of tons of my creek if we can get to it. We just need a small culvert to get to it.
Yeah, it's money is our problem right now, and we're not asking for it right now because we don't have the ability set up for it. But it is something in the future we plan on asking for help.
Yeah.
If we establish this.
Well, I paid, I think, $160 a year every year that I was up there for road maintenance.
And you saw a grader come by maybe 4 times.
I don't think I've seen them that many
They
times.
put
Well, since
rock.
98.
I've been here for
One
over
time
10
in the last
years,
7
and they've
years.
put rock on this
I was
road
gonna say
twice.
twice in 10 years for us.
Yeah, so since
And they
98.
usually stop.
about 4
And they
times.
usually stop.
Right at
If
Todd
anybody
Chris's
knows this area, well, you should. You know where the hill is over here, where Todd and Chrissy's property stops?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's where they stop. They do
They
not
don't
go any
go any
further
further.
than Todd and Chrissy's property. And I have literally a crater lake back there that I filled in now, but 90% of y'all's vehicles, I could go park it in and you'd be sitting in water in your car. Chevron does not care. They've washed their hands of it. We're stuck with it now.
They didn't care before.
So what is the rule about taking creek rock? Because I know,
DNR does
DNR.
not have a rule on us taking it.
okay, because Gina Nowski and old man got in a lot of trouble for taking rock out of the creek. So
We,
gotta
as far as I'm tracking,
check
there is
for sure.
there's no regulation on it as long as you are not leaking.
Continuously running water. If it is like
If you
these
take
up
my
here,
creek, for example, where it's just a wet weather creek,
yeah, it's
but
basically just a water sluice.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean Gina Nowski's.
But you cannot take like actual river creek
I don't know about that.
gravel out without.
Well, Hibden does,
I was getting ready to
I was
say,
gonna
But-
say hidden.
and
but I'm
if I
pretty
called
sure he
DNR
has a
about-
permit.
Nope,
for
I
it.
called DNR about that, asking how in the hell can they do this without setting up bags and oil slicks and stuff. They're pulling out X number that is smaller than what the state regulation is, and they're using a 5-yard loader. So us using a skid steer is going to be way under what they're allowed to do. Fisher's also pulled out of there too. And then they dredge all the time. So
Right. So that's why I didn't know.
We,
I just know that Gene got in a lot of trouble, and they told him he couldn't pull gravel from there no more, and all kinds of stuff.
So
He had to block access for his cattle to go in there, so his cattle weren't allowed
well,
to
that
go in there. and
might
all
be
kinds
why
of
also.
stuff.
Might
Well-
also be the fact that they.
well, like I said, my creek, my gravel, I'm gonna do what I want with it, and if I can put it on the roads, I will. We just gotta get to it.
On your way out of here, those of you that are going out, look the second bridge as you're going out on the left hand side. You'll see all the loose gravel fines, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
there's
it.
tons of
There's
it.
tons of it. There's about 4.5 feet difference between where the fines are and where the actual rock is, the riprap, so to speak, the 6 to 8 inch rock. That is causing these pieces of machinery to get stuck. I didn't get stuck in his Bobcat. Took us a little bit, but I got it out. The thing is we have to remove all of that to be able to put it back to where it was, because that has all been washed out. So that is one task we're left with. On the right hand side, I built kind of a water dam, and it's working from what I understand. Is it slowing the water down? On that right hand side where you're fixing the culverts?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the other problem we had, is one of the culverts was 75% shut.
Yeah.
So it was causing a backup and flood.
That's the problem
Which-
with mine. It's bent from the grader, hitting it every year.
Is it openable?
Could probably just cut the end off of it. Probably. I haven't looked at it that much. I need to dig it out. Like dig out the ditch, because the ditch just
I'll
bypasses
give you
it.
I'll
That's
give
all.
you my number. Shoot me a text, and then those of you two, we have a Facebook group.
Oh yeah.
So try to get you in the Facebook group. That way you guys are up to date on what's going
Yeah,
on.
that'd be good.
You won't see me on that because I don't do Facebook.
I have your
Me
number.
neither.
I do very little on it, but
I
I
don't
do
even
have
have it on my
so-
phone.
I understand that.
Yeah, half the time I have it, half the time I
I
don't.
use Messenger, but I don't use Facebook.
Well, we have a messenger group too.
When I get too busy, I shut down.
That's how I
Yeah,
communicate with
most
the
it's just been
outside
too muddy to get my dingo in there to dig it out. So
Well,
I haven't
and that's-
yet, and it's my dingo's little, so
We're still supposed to have more rain today. Knock
Yeah.
on wood. I hope not.
And more on Monday too.
Shut your mouth.
yeah, I can't get in there till it's mostly
Wait.
dried
Yeah,
out.
where the camera at?
We're not gonna have
Right here.
rain on Monday. Is that what you want to
I
hear?
can't see it.
No, it's right here.
Well, hopefully,
Oh, I ain't in there.
before I pilot 49 other people in there now.
You got kids. Just have them out there driving T-posts.
Yeah, and then they will be all crooked, and then I'll have to redo them anyways.
He's like,
One
no.
way this way, one whack that way. You'll get them straight eventually.
I learned my lesson.
So there is talk for you set it up. When was the next meeting?
June 15th is the next meeting. We're trying to do that one in person with as many people from the 945 as possible,
What
because
day
that's
is
when we're
that?
going
It's
to
a
try
Saturday.
to. It's a Saturday.
So what?
Is that the
Yeah, it's
first
what we are.
Saturday of the
So
month?
those that don't know,
9/4/5.
Yes.
Yeah,
First
that's what our
Saturday of the
property
month?
area is
Probably
considered for
second.
Chevron.
Should probably just go like once a month, the first Saturday. That just makes it easier for people to remember.
Well, the problem with that is then you won't have Todd or Zach.
Todd's on call that weekend, and I've got drill.
That's why we moved it to the 15th that month, because of their work schedules.
What time is it at?
So right now, tentatively noon. That may change. I'm trying
Yeah, in an effort to get as many
people.
participants as possible and actually get them physically here. It's completely up in the air when it starts. So again, tentatively noon, but it may end up 5. We don't.
We may push it just to try to get as many people
And
here.
something we can do as well, if we have, like, say you may be in St. Louis, right? But through my company, we use Zoom all the time, and I have an unlimited account where it doesn't shut me off after 30 minutes. So I mean, we could set up a Zoom call during the actual live meeting. People that can't be here can also be on.
That's something we talked about, and I also talked about doing Facebook Live. Tony's recording it, which is fine. But I also talked about doing Facebook Live for like David, who is in Kansas City, and then we have a moderator basically that just sits there and reads. Hey, David's asking, what about this? Or
That way everyone's questions and
what is it?
concerns can be...
Terry and
Steve.
Terry and Steve they're wanting to know if this got done or if this is a task that's still to come up. Well, yeah, it's on our list of road stuff that we're going to take care of. But Will decided he was going to sit at home today because he didn't want to walk over here because his leg's hurting.
Too much pain.
Okay, cool. What you got, Will? Or we can actually hear him. I'm just using you for an example, Bub. James is dealing with his health issues. We're
I
trying to
gotta
get
go.
different things going.
I'm in too much pain right now.
I got you.
Hey, take it easy, Bubba. We'll let you. I'll shoot a message out to Gail.
So I'm gonna be on Facebook.
Yeah, you'll be on Facebook. You'll be on Facebook.
No,
Come on.
I ain't never been in that camera.
Your voice has. But that's
See you later, Rick.
the future plans. We're trying to get this thing still in the baby stage.
Yeah, it's absolutely in its infancy, and until we
It
can
seems
get
like you'd have to, at least get in touch with everybody that has property.
Like
Yeah.
I was trying to
Facebook or telephone or something.
yeah, and we also need to get a hold of Big Country as well. The
Yeah.
firm that bought up all the miscellaneous lots that Chevron had.
So
I've been traveling last week and the week prior from Hayes, Kansas to St. Louis extensively. Just haven't had a lot of time, unfortunately. So
It sucks.
Hayes sucks. Not middle of nowhere to the USA. So I haven't had enough time to actually try to contact that feller. But I'm local for the next 2 weeks at least, so I'll have a bit more time.
and I live here, you all know that, but I am literally at the shop for the county from sunup until we get released, and then as soon as I come off that, I go to that, and I'm dealing with my military from, plus my mini farm, plus my girls, so I'm tied up. We had the emergency the other night where my dad went out of here to a call in Ivy Bend, and that's how we found out the road was flooding. We went down there and we took care of it, And the next day, I think it was the next day or the day after Tony, we went down there and just fixed the road. So, we try to get it done quickly. Right now it's a pain in the ass. Right now Herbie's down again.
Herbie's down, Bobcat's down, my tractor's done.
Put blade on it and let's roll.
Todd's tractor.
I got a box blade and a rear blade for it. So.
It's just kind of tough going right now. We need to pull ditches.
Well, and right now everything's just temporary until we can actually get funding and do more permanent situations.
I wish David was here so we could get an update on those railroad ties. Because creating those...
Unfortunately, I was at an auction last weekend and could have bought several hundred for $25, but I didn't have a way to haul them because my big trailer was down here.
My trailer's down here. I don't have a truck. But that's where we're at.
And I didn't have time because I had to go out of town.
Good call.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Please speak up, because that's the only way we're gonna...
Well, I'm just trying to understand how, because it seems like to me you'd have to have most of the people that live in 945 to agree to this, because,
Right, and that's where, getting participants from other areas that can go talk to their neighbors and lobby on our behalf. It's not our behalf, it's our behalf, because, it's going to benefit us all in the long run.
Regardless of these people showing up or not, the work still has to be done.
Right.
We need, it would be nice. Williams helped me out quite a bit. Zach has done a fuck ton.
Metric or standard?
And I've been doing what I can. It would not hurt to have more people that can
and I've done what I
physically
can
help.
as well. Some of you that live in this area, you've seen me in
and
the
it's
backhoe
really-
with
Bottom
work on
line is,
street
it doesn't
crossings,
matter. It does not matter if we get this group formed or whatever. The roads still have to be taken care of.
I can run
So-
equipment, and I don't have much of my own.
Like he was saying, though, the individual person is all dumped on one man because he's got a tractor or whatever,
Right,
It's
and that's
unfortunate,
what we're
but-
trying to stop. So,
I mean, what else are we gonna do? It's either do that or be stuck at home.
I don't live down here, otherwise I'd be working the roads every freaking day.
Here's the kick side to this. Like I told you, there is that place in Versailles. That place also has, I think I did see a grader on there.
There is a grader.
Okay, there is a grader. There is
The
a
grader was like $2,500 for a week, and there's no hour limit on it.
Yeah, that's the plus side. There is no hour limit versus
Yeah.
Mini-X, we had 8 hours and we burnt in 8.5 hours, and the lady kind of let me go with it because I've been a faithful customer. But the thing is we can rent equipment. Cool. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not have $2,500 to shit out of my ass. Otherwise, I'd have done it and not told anybody. I'd have fixed it already, and then when y'all, where'd this come from? Thank your neighbor, say goodbye, and go on, But
well, see, like I'm in a situation where, I could come up with, over time, I could, just like we was doing with the rest of the thing, like if y'all will agree on something that I could understand how, you was going to work, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you come up with, need, and we could all contribute to it, it shouldn't be outrageous for anybody.
No,
Right.
No.
but the problem we're having, and you're right, and like you said already, is we got to get everybody. So, save the system again. Morgan County
GIS.
GIS. I hate the thing, but
The,
GIS. Some of them have the correct addresses. Some of them have the correct phone numbers.
Those that are still under contract with Chevron,
Some of
Chevron
them.
listed.
Some of them do not have a correct contact, do not have a correct mailing address, nothing. And then some of them just got put the addresses here on their property. So, like my neighbor that lives in St. Louis, I have no way of getting a hold of him. Now, I think it's you that. No, Will has his contact. Will left. He has a phone number for him, but doesn't know if it's going to work all the time. Because
so
it's.
you're talking about renting a Raider for $2,500. That take 25 people, $100 a piece. That's going to require, some.
But again, if
Some
so,
kind of
I understand that, and say there's 25 of you guys here in this room. Okay, cool, not a problem. Nobody here currently showed up for Allison Lane. So do I, and nobody showed up for Lauren. So say I'm the grader operator. Is that fair for me to rent it all, charge you guys $2,500? We pitch it in, we get it. But is it fair for me to charge you guys and them not show up, reap the benefit, and I still go grade their road? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to do it, and I'll probably get yelled at, but I'll tell you why. Because if I could show them that, hey, we as a group are trying to do this, we're putting forth the effort to get this taken care of, come support us, yeah, I'll probably get that support. But, am I going to get backlash from 25 other people because I made 4 people show up? Yeah, I probably am.
Well, that's why nobody's on my road show, because they're so disgusted with the way things have been handled in the past. They just
Well,
don't want anything to
and
do
that's
with
what we want to fix. We know that Chevron just really dealt us all a bad deal.
The,
Right, just over the coals. But
the plus side is looking into it, and I'm hoping you come on and are willing to help us, because you have a lot of knowledge, so do you. Right now you have Jay, who's the project manager. David's not here right now, he's also a project manager. Todd's not here, he works for the city of Osage Beach. You have a lot of experience running equipment too. There's enough of us here, we have probably over 100 years of experience in equipment. So, one of us can't run a fucking grader, cool. Somebody in our group can. We'll find that one person, and that one person is now going to teach 2 other people. And we're going to spread it that way. You're not the only guy running the road grader every weekend. So it's, you know what I mean? You're not the only guy running Herbie because you're the only one that knows how to do it. We're trying to do that too. Right now it just seems a little bit easier because I can break free from something. I can put something on pause whether my wife likes it or not, but I can put something on pause, go down, spend 2 hours throwing rock in a hole, and then come back up and finish what I was doing. It is easier. Am I willing to teach people? Absolutely. As soon as Alex pulls his head out of his butt, he'll be the next operator. And I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, you. Summer's coming, buddy. We can put you to work.
You put him to work now.
We
he's
have
got
all the
T-posts
kids.
need to be driven.
Yeah, we'll have kids all over the hill doing stuff.
Yeah,
He's got
he's
T-posts
been
that
doing
need
his
to be
mom's
driven.
T-posts.
How tall is he?
How tall are you? 5'5".
He's tall enough to get the work done.
7 foot.
And
T-posts
he's
are hard to drive.
homeschooled, so
But so that is the game plan. We again this next point, our next in-person meeting is about 6 to 7 weeks out. So it gives us a little bit further stretch because I think this one was only 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
2
When
weeks,
did
yeah.
you say the next one?
June 15th.
I'm gonna give you my phone number. That way
I may not be here because I wish I could be on the video call, but I got fire training in St. Louis for the whole weekend, so.
And that's fine. If nothing
then I'll
else,
be at work.
we will
So
make
my
sure
wife
you guys.
might be able to show up or something, but.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
Well,
And
that's fine.
again,
Not
we're going to
everybody
record it
else.
again, so and it'll be available either on YouTube or Facebook.
I just don't know if
decide to
it's the
post it.
weekend of the 15th or the weekend of the 21st. So,
The other thing I am gonna ask, like you brought up food casserole, cool. I appreciate that. You guys cooked. Todd and Chrissy have been fronting most of this for us to eat during these luncheons. So, if you guys are okay with it, like starting next month, I'd like to bring by donation, whatever the hell you want. Throw a pocket full of change in there. I don't give a shit. Just something to go back to them because they have been
Yeah,
fronting.
I gave him $40 yesterday towards the cause as well.
Because we have been eating on their dime.
Well, if I had known that there was food last time, I would have brought something.
That's fine.
Nobody said anything to me.
She knows how to cook. I mean, she pulls it all out of her garden.
Anyway.
So, who is throwing all the trash down at the bottom of the hill? Does anybody know?
Where?
There's a shit ton right across from where your daughter used to live.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a fuck ton of trash
So right
bags.
there, when you come
There's
down
several
Big Hill,
truckloads
Ozark
there, it looks
Heights,
like.
and then there's
There-
Ed's
Walk by
Turn
there
and
all the
Maple
time.
Tree.
I don't know. Somebody
I'm picking
throwing
up along the
couches
road,
out
I
there
Yeah.
and stuff.
I
My
got
wife
a
thought
truck.
it was a dead body one
You'd have
time.
to-
I did too. I did
The
too.
back of the couch looks like somebody's wrapped up in something.
Yup. It
Yeah. So that's gonna be the other thing. We're not a POA, so I don't care what you do on your property, but we do need to try to keep like the properties that are open and stuff like that. As a group right now, we try to need to keep people from dumping shit because they are coming. They've done it before with dogs and
Dogs,
cats.
Cats,
They're doing it with trash again.
I have a cat at my house that somebody dumped off in my yard.
You want 6 more?
No.
Okay.
So, anyways, I don't have a problem making food. I love to cook.
Okay.
I don't have a problem doing that, as long as I know in advance.
My
The
wife
next
can make
meeting,
them
I will not be here.
I know she makes really good food too. She's making my daughter's birthday cake. And
I
cupcakes.
go
Sorry.
back to work June 1st.
Sorry, she's making my daughter's
Yeah, she's making
cupcake.
cupcakes and cake, which I gotta get
She
you.
just delivered a wedding cake today.
Yeah, I know. That's why she's not here.
But
I've got to get her the doll and the money.
is everybody okay with the game plan for the 15th? Meeting again on the 15th.
No.
Well, that's fine
What
with me.
time? I mean, if
There's
it's at noon,
food,
I
and
can
don't
be
have to
here.
be in St.
I'm
Louis
just trying to make some
on
progress.
Right now it's at noon.
Because I want
Right
to do
now-
between now and
I
then,
don't have to
you
go to
know?
work until 2.
Right now it's tentatively noon. I will get with Jay and
Here?
Todd.
Is it here?
Yeah, it'll be temporarily here until we can get
You
something
know,
else
I'm trying to
approved.
figure out what to do between
But-
now and then. So, you know,
Talk to your
I'll get with
neighbors.
Jay, Todd,
Talk to your neighbors, tell them to
word or
come.
something.
and
Talk to all your neighbors. Tell them to come.
Well, I
Tell
I,
her.
I don't know my
Mike.
neighbors hardly, you know.
He's
Mike,
my
stay
neighbor.
Mike,
I
tell her. Tell her to come.
Tell my
Tell-
neighbor.
home.
Hey, there's a meeting on the
Well,
15th.
we don't communicate with anybody. Me
Yeah.
and Shirley are our own
Who-
little thing floating off into space, you know.
Who owns the place that right across the street from you?
Stupid people.
Yeah, stupid people.
But
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Shit. I know what their name is.
you know how to get
Where do
hold
you
of
live?
Yes.
At the top of Ozark,
She's a
right?
bitch.
Oh, right off of Webb Road on the right.
Yes.
So coming
Yeah.
down, you would be on
Dawn.
the left.
Dawn
right.
wanted to come back out
Yeah.
here with Cassie.
I'm trying
Or
to
not
grow a
Cassie,
garden and
Cheyenne.
stuff every time I see them.
And wanted to know if they would rent it to him. So I gave him their phone number. You
But
know,
I
he
would
told
go
me.
out of my way to call
Anytime.
some
You know,
people and
somebody
see
needs
if
to
I
talk
can
to
get
me.
them
You give them my
interested
phone
in
number.
showing
So I
up
did.
or something. If I
And
can figure out
they were
how
out
to go
here the
about
very
it,
next
you know?
day,
Yeah.
flipping
Oh,
out
Well, we're gonna
because I
get.
gave out their number.
I'll get with you.
And
Get
then another
everybody's-
time, our trailer flipped over at the bottom of the
Put
hill,
up a bunch of
and Joey pulled it back up,
information.
towed it back up to the top, and
Like,
set it in their yard,
basically
in their
make
driveway.
100
That's
flyers
why their
or something.
driveway is blocked off.
Yeah.
now, because it's
We
their
can do it.
driveway.
Of course.
Yeah,
You're talking about where
Letterhead.
that truck was sitting?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, the
figure
truck.
something out, but
yeah.
I tried to buy that truck from my.
No,
kind of
they don't
how
wanna
we would
sell
like
it.
how we
No,
propose
they-
to
yeah.
organize it and run
It's
it.
gonna
and
sit there and rot to
what goes on.
pieces.
Yeah, I need the
What
transmission out
about
of
the
it.
neighbors across from?
I
Mike
guess the
that
only
do the
thing to do is
semi?
probably go there.
I don't know.
They're not on. They're on web. They're not on.
Yeah, they're not on
Picture of it.
Ozark.
But so the other thing we have
It's
to
got
have a
all
problem
these
with
names for the
is
fire department.
part of Ozark
Oh,
Heights
Cindy.
or part of web
Start looking up in
is
front road.
part of the
I don't know how
945.
you do it.
Part of it is
Correct.
not.
Look, baby, I don't know.
So, but in
They
the
don't have
So
fun.
everybody
original
knows-
deed covenants, anybody that has
Yeah,
was on a
that's-
And I don't go
maintained road
online either, you know.
was not bound to pay road dues.
So does everybody know who Joey is? Joey Crosswhite.
Yeah,
Mhm.
who doesn't know?
I don't know.
Joey Crosswhite. His mom drives bus
Shelley.
15, 14, something like
14.
that.
The one that drives up the middle of Webb Road and
Yes.
doesn't care.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Joey.
She's lucky she didn't get hit.
Yep.
No, that's Maria.
Marie.
Marie. Okay.
Marie.
Joey, if you're going toward town on Webb Road, you get past the church and you go start down the hill. He's the house on the left,
With all
It
the
has
scrap cars.
all the scrap cars. Okay, that's Joey. He
Yeah,
also
he's a scrap
owns quite a few properties back in here. Where, I don't know, because everything I know that he owns is on web.
He
His
owns from
brother-
the corner of Allison all the way along Webb Road, all the way to Locust.
And he is part of this as well. 945.
All them crappy trailers that are there that
He's
look
part
like
of the
junkyard.
945.
Yeah.
They've
So-
been cleaning those up.
Yeah, they have.
They've been
doing
His
a good
brother-
job.
on it too.
That lives at Allison at the old nudist ranch there is not part of 945. He's part of the county. The community center that is across from his brother, which is Allison, is part of the 945 as well. So it's really, really hit and miss.
You want
as to
Joey's
what-
phone number?
no,
too?
No, I've got Joey's.
It's really hit and miss as to what we have
I've got Joey's.
that's part of
Maurice,
us. So we have that's
I got
the
it.
other issue is our map may say they're part of us, but when we go talk to them, they may be tied to the county. So it's there's a lot of hit and miss right now.
Yeah.
More miss than hits. So that's why I'm extremely grateful you guys showed up today. Like I heard
I'm
you were.
just trying to figure out what I could actually do to help, but I don't, other than make calls and stuff, I really don't, you know, like you have.
Yeah, until we have those phone numbers, and it's
Well, that's what
I
I'm
give you
saying.
Kinda
guys
hard.
the
I mean,
number,
we could
memorize it on the property
do the
property.
mailings that we talked about.
Don't tell my
We still don't have any
gatekeeper, okay?
funding to
That's
do
what
that
you
either. So
I work at the county.
word of mouth is the best way
See?
for right now.
And I will keep working on trying to get answers on that culvert. If we can get it, that'll help us out. I know it doesn't do much for you two right now, but eventually, hopefully, one effect will trickle down to other
Be
effects.
able to clean out
Can
the
we,
ditches.
Potentially.
if 501Cs can get stuff donated from Thompson?
That's
That's
where
where
we're
we're trying to
working.
go. We're trying
Yeah.
to form that nonprofit and LLC to be able to get funds and grants.
So it's easier to do a 501c, like David's not here to explain it, but I believe the way David explained it last time was it's easier to do a 501c if we are a POA than it is if we're a special road district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we're a special road district, we're able to do.
There's like 5 different 501Cs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's
He
not,
knows
He knows.
it. Like he
He
knows
knows.
exactly how to do it, and because I think that's part of what he does up in Belton.
Yeah.
But he was explaining it last
Meeting.
meeting, and it's fine, but again, you're running into that acronym right there, POA.
People hear
And
that and they don't
it-
want to.
Especially the older generation that is, we came out here to live our life at the happiest, leave us the hell alone. We don't want to be told what we can and can't do.
Which is not what we want to do.
We like
I don't
I
think
said.
any of us want to do that.
I think all like we all said. I don't give a shit what you do on your property.
Yeah,
Go
to
have
get to
fun.
it.
For legal reasons to help with funding, we have to have that title. But in reality, is that what this is? No, it's a community coming together to try to help the community. That's all it is.
Y'all tell me what I can and can't do on my property. I'm putting a concrete barrier around
Do
it.
it.
I want a 6-foot wall around your property.
I'm gonna put little.
You know what?
barriers
Declare
around
your
it
own-
to get people.
Declare your own.
kids that live at your house?
You
You
shoot
got
from
kids
his
that
house.
live at your house?
No,
Shoot from Little Red's house.
Does she have kids?
yes.
You got kids that live at your house?
Yes,
Yeah.
Little Red. Little Red's down there.
He ain't so little anymore.
You're talking about her grandkids.
Yeah, my grandkids don't live there anymore.
Yeah, that must be who came up to my house. Hung out with Braxton.
Yes, Elijah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my
Every
oldest
now and then
grandson.
we'd see him, and then one minute he said he was coming, and the next minute
He's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
yeah, that's her grandson.
That's my grandson. His
Yep.
mom and I had a fight, and she.
Get gone.
A lot of that
Things
stuff.
to do.
He's gun rights back.
There's
Yep.
nice numbers.
I
here.
think
You know how to get
Yeah, the wife does all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, nothing else, she's got me on
What
Facebook.
we need to try for is for somebody to
And he's
contact
the
all
one
these
that I
people
shoot,
that
by the
got places here.
How do we get
By
on
the
the
way,
Facebook
thank
group and
you.
stuff?
Yeah.
That'd be-
Charlie saw Kyla cut her hair and donated,
So,
and so now
do
she's
we-
like, I'm doing that.